we continue with Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we're going to finish BeEzrat HaShem Siman 74, and we learned a lot. Very different ideas were brought down in this sif, and now we up to Siman 74 and sif number 4. And our topic is the law of one who journeys on a boat. Number 4. Just move it. In the CF1, we learned that for the sake of a mitzvah, one may embark on a boat trip even on Friday. Here, Kitzur explained that under certain conditions, one may live even on Shabbos for such a purpose. Right? So, meaning on Shabbos he's going to be, but we'll see. We'll see what is the conditions. Okay, continue. Regarding one who wishes to travel on a boat on Shabbos in order to reach destination where he will be able to pray with a 10-man minyan quorum necessary for communal prayer, or in order to perform another mitzvah, if the boat is sailing for the sake of other, there is non-Jew, non-Jewish passengers as well, then there is a basis to permit this. Nevertheless, a Jew should board the boat on Erev Shabbos while it is still day, and remain there until dark, as explained in previous sif. After that, he may return home and then board the boat on Shabbos. However, for the boat to sail for the sake of a Jew alone is not permitted. See Sefer Nasif Chaim, glosses to Magen Avraham, Siman 248, etc. Okay, so let's understand this. Let's read from the beginning. Some details like we already know from previous year, but let's see. Okay. So again, this halacha is about a Jew that needs to sail somewhere on Shabbos, right? I mean, if he boards before Shabbos and nothing is going on, it's like he comes to somebody's to somebody else's house. Like it's on the water, not on the water. It's irrelevant, right? But now in like last time we were discussing when somebody like in a process they started before Shabbos and then continue on Shabbos. Okay. But here they plan to start the journey on Shabbos itself. That's more stricter, of course. Okay, so again, regarding one who wishes to travel on a boat on Shabbos, in order to reach destination, and he will pray with 10 men. It's very interesting to pray with 10 men. It's not a biblical, right? It's a rabbinical mitzvah. It's very interesting, right? It is very interesting. So he wants to pray with a minyan. It does not say when he's going to be able to pray with a minyan on Shabbos itself, or meaning maybe on another day, or in order to perform another mitzvah. So basically, like I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe he for this reason he would be able to return home if he's not home right now, right? And not in his hometown. There is no minyan, so maybe he would be allowed to go home. Right, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's like a good reason, but could be. Okay. Or in order to perform another mitzvah, if the boat is sailing, right, for the sake of the sake of the other non-Jewish passenger as well, right? So meaning it's not because of him, but because of other people, as we saw last time. So in the eyes of these non-Jews, the Jews are not important, so there is to our advantage basically. Then there is basis to permit this. Okay, so let's see. 21. This is permitted only if one is not living techum. So techum is, as we said, 2,000 amos, so which is not a lot. It's like 0.7 miles, or 1 kilometer approximately. Okay. Nevertheless, the Jew should board the boat on Erev Shabbos, on Erev Shabbos, while it is still day. Okay, so far so good, right? On Erev Shabbos, so meaning what? That he established his location where he's going to be on Shabbos, and remain there until dark, as explained in previous Sif. Okay, so that's okay. So he's there. He boarded before Shabbos, and then he goes home, right? After that, he may return to his home, and then reboard the boat on Shabbos. So on Shabbos, meaning Shabbos the morning, let's say, right? Now they're going to sail. However, if the boat sailed for the sake of a Jew alone, it is not permitted, right? See previous CF note 17, right? I mean, right? We said even if you don't ask the non-Jews to do a mitzvah for you like explicitly, it's still like it's obvious that you're the only passenger, and you pay them even before Shabbos, doesn't matter, right? Or you promise them to pay later on. It's absolutely irrelevant. It's like you're giving them clear instruction what to do for you. So it's absolutely forbidden. Okay, so let's one second. 23. They say see Sefer Nesiv Chaim, glosses to Maget Avraham, Siman 248:11. Okay, so who discussed this matter as at length? So let's see quickly commentary. Printed in standard edition of Shulchan Aruch. Okay. One who may not travel on a bus. One may not travel on a bus or train or airplane on Shabbos, even if he boards before Shabbos. Okay. One may not travel on a bus or a train or airplane on Shabbos, even if he boards before Shabbos. This is I mean, in olden days, when you have to travel from one place to another, like trains were much slower than today. It would take sometimes like 7 days, 10 days, 12 days, like 2 weeks. So people were going like through the whole country, like cross country. I'm not sure exactly what they do, where they disembark on stay on Shabbos summer and then board another train, maybe. Okay. So continue. So this thing traveling on Shabbos could be only on a boat, not on other transportation. Okay. So and it's not because of the light, right? Because they use fuel. Also on the boat that they can use fuel, but today, if somebody they go into the cruise, for example, and sometimes cruises, or like if it's kosher cruise, I mean it's very interesting. Most likely they would dock somewhere. Maybe not. They would continue going. I'm not sure. It's a good question. We can research it, but okay. Continue. So we're up to next Siman 75. The law of lights, of lighting the Shabbos candles. Okay, so we have a little introduction. I mean, we learn a lot about it. We have a special, section, special class about it. But now we're going to see in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. The sages instituted that the candles are to be lit in every home each Friday evening before the onset of Shabbos. So that's actually one of the 7 rabbinical mitzvahs, right? We have 613 biblical and 7 rabbinical mitzvahs, and this is one of them: to light candles on Shabbos, not on Shabbos, before Shabbos and before Yom Tov, in honor of Shabbos and in honor of Yom Tov, right? This is in order to honor Shabbos by enabling the Friday night meal to be conducted with a dignified and festive manner, with appropriate light, right? As means to preserve the shalom bayis, the domestic tranquility, by allowing the members of the household to move around freely without concern of injury. So we're going to see, right? So again, let's do again and try to understand. So first of all, our sages instituted that we should light Shabbos candles before Shabbos. This is in order to honor Shabbos, but right, when the more lights you have, the more honor, especially in olden days. So today we have electricity and these LEDs things, very very bright, Baruch HaShem. But in olden days, imagine how much a person should spend on all of the candles, right? To make these candles, and how many, and all of these candle holders. It's a lot to make your room bright, right? Will take a lot, and right. So, but our sages require to do it in honor of Shabbos. And plus, the second idea is shalom bayis. So, meaning shalom bayis, what does it mean? That you can see where you're going, right? You can see what is in your plate. There's a chicken, there's a soup, it's something else, right? You need to see, right? Otherwise, people would get into fight. Somebody stumble, somebody was trying to sit down and miss their chair. That's terrible. That's terrible. I remember when we had this Hurricane Sandy, I don't know, like 15 years ago, I don't know, many years ago. So we lost our power. We did not have power for 2 weeks, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. And not only us, like all other people as well. So no refrigerator. I mean, the freezer was going like almost for 1 week, right? But that's it. But that's so we live without power, and guess what? We have Shabbos candles, so we burn candles. Other people did not even have candles, because I mean, non-Jews, right? I mean, why would they need candles? Right? It's very interesting, and you try to learn. You try to do your activities with limited amount of candles. I mean, we did not know how long this thing would go, right? So it's very interesting. So you appreciate this electric light, okay? And these candles, even 2 or 3 candles, then don't give so much light, okay? So commentary saying, even nowadays, when our homes are well lit with electric light, one is required to light Shabbos candles. See Igros Moshe, Orachim 5, chapter 20 and 30. Okay. Section 30. Okay. Right. So even though as the commentators say, we don't light because the honor of Shabbos, but we do, as we always say, the combination of 2 things. So you turn off the lights in the living room, in dining area, wherever you're going to have meal, right? To turn off. Then you turn on all the lights, right? Without speaking, of course, and you light the candles, and then you say the blessings. So all of this combination, and you have in mind that this blessing that I'm making on the lighting of the candles, it's actually is going to cover the big lights as well, all the electric lights as well. So then there is this blessing is not in vain. Otherwise, it's very questionable. What you 2 candles, even if you lit 5 candles, how they helping if you have a big chandelier with 500 watts bulbs? How exactly it is going to help? It does not. I mean, it looks nice, but the burning of the candles, but for the shalom bayis, they do not help. Right. So okay, right. So sif number 1. Every person is obligated to desist from performance any melacha, prohibited activity, and the light Shabbos candles at least half an hour before the nightfall. Before the nightfall, see however note below. Okay, we're going to see it. 1 second. If the congregation in synagogue has recited Mizmar Shir Yom HaShabbos, Psalms of the day for the Shabbos, Tehillim chapter 92, thus Asher in Shabbos, then even if there are up to 2 hours remaining until nightfall, nevertheless, the laws of the Shabbos take effect even on minority of the people of the city, right, who have not yet Asher Shabbos, and they are all forbidden to perform all melachas, even for one who has arrived from another city to this city, right? The laws of Shabbos take effect upon him as soon as the congregation recites Mizmar Shir Yom HaShabbos. In city that there are 2 or more synagogues, one is not drawn after the other. Each one may usher Shabbos at his own time. So there are many commentaries, as you understand. It's not so simple. It's not so simple. But first of all, we have to understand in olden days, and even now, today, if you have smaller communities, you have only one minyan. Sometimes people would split, and for example, people who live a little further away, and they want to start the Shabbos earlier, so they would have their own minyan in the house. Right, in some towns, right, people reported to me that the locals they don't like Jews so much, right, or too much, and they made the law in a town not to have synagogues, like private synagogues, right, meaning that even their churches they have to be in a designated way, like with a parking lot, like totally separate in like a commercial area, but not in the residential area. So basically, they do not allow it. So of course, the Jews have a synagogue, but it's very long way to go. And these guys that spoke to me, so they made the minyan right inside somebody's house. So, and these non-Jews, of course, they understand that something is going on, but and then they complain right to the city, and but it's not much that they can do. So the guy said, "Look, I have guests. What they make noise? No, they don't make noise. I mean, they basement. Of course, they sing, but but people can sing. It's not like what is it like without music? It's not like they play a loud music, right? And but they get what is it? Hard time from the neighbors, right? Right, from some neighbors, not all of the neighbors, from the neighbors. So basically, what I'm trying to say, so if even there is one main synagogue in a town, but there is another minyan, even if this minyan is only for Shabbos, right? Because otherwise they would drive to the shul, so there is no problem. So they can go after this minyan, meaning in a time of lighting of the candles. Okay, so again, chapter number 1, and it says every person is obligated to desist from performing any melacha, right, and to light Shabbos candles, right? Okay, at least half an hour before the nightfall. See, however, the note below. Okay, so we're going to see the note below. So half an hour, so meaning the obligation is on every person, but technically one person in a house is he can fulfill the obligation for and include everybody else in this mitzvah. And usually it's a woman that spend most of their days, most of the times and days in the house. So she's in charge of the household. So usually she's the most responsible, and she would light the candles. But if a man lives alone, so he's responsible. Meaning, some people, people who do not learn. So they say, no, I don't light candles. It's a women thing. I say, whoa, but you live by yourself. In another case, the guy was living with his mother, and mother does not care to light the candles. I said, I somehow I figured. I said, but do you light the candles? He said, not. My mother does not want. I said, what is the connection? She does not want. She does not want. It's your own business, but you're responsible to light candles. Right? It's very important. It's, again, it's up this obligation upon everyone. And we see the commentary. So it says half an hour. I mean, as we know, we do like 18 minutes. Okay. Oh, no. I apologize. It says half an hour before the nightfall. Nightfall, we do much earlier than that. We do 18 minutes before the sunset. So it's much earlier than that. Okay, so let's see commentary. Literally, emergence of the stars. Okay. The actual prohibition of performing Melach on Shabbos begins at the onset on Bein Hashemashos. So Bein Hashemashos, as we said, it's the period from the sunset until till the nighttime. Okay, so we said until the medium size stars appear. Okay, so again, the actual prohibition to perform Melacha on Shabbos begins at the onset of Bein Hashemashos. Okay. So meaning we don't do melachas, there is some exception. On a Friday evening, since at that time there is a possibility that Shabbos has begun, right? The Kitzur are ruling that which is not followed common practice, right? Clearly, we don't look 20 minutes. It's very late. Right, is based on a calculation Bein Hashemashos at the beginning 13 and a half minutes before Tzeis HaKachavim, right? I'm not sure why would they do so late, but technically, there was such an opinion. By refraining from Melacha and ushering the Shabbos 1/2 an hour before Tzeis HaKachavim, one avoids the desecration of Shabbos, also fulfill the mitzvah of Tofeses Shabbos, the extension of the Shabbos. Right, as we, we're not going to explain, so okay. 1 second, let me see, something is missing. 1 second, it's here a rule that not following common is based on calculation Bein Hashemashos, 30 minutes before Tzeis HaKachavim. By refraining from Melacha and using and ushering Shabbos 1/2 an hour before Tzeis HaKachavim, one avoids desecration of Shabbos and also fulfill the mitzvah of adding to Shabbos. Okay, so let's again, we don't follow this ruling 1/2 an hour before the nightfall, even though according to this opinion, a person does not desecrate, and it is not night, right? It is not night, but according to some opinions, the day goes from sunrise until sunset. So according to another opinion, it was from the dawn until the nightfall, which is much longer, right? So here, okay. So we, of course, since it is a biblical mitzvah, we have a rule. If something is biblical, so we go into stringency. If something is in order not to desecrate. If it's rabbinical and it is a doubt, so we go to the lenient side. Okay, no problem. So that's why we light candles much earlier. right? And here he mentioned one important idea. I'm not sure if he's going to cover, but we need to say that there is a mitzvah to add to Shabbos. So even today, let's say the candlelight. I'm just making up time. 5:18 the p.m. right, 5:18 p.m. So it's proper to add a few more minutes, right? So I mean, if person is like under the pressure, we have to ask him or her why they under pressure. But under normal circumstances, it's proper to add some time. And as I know, Batsheva Kanievsky, the wife of the holy Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, that's also, she always recommended women that have different issues, right, with their family, personal issues, right, like shidduchim issues, like to start lighting candles 10 minutes before the time, right? I mean, if you think about 10 minutes, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all, meaning to add to Shabbos to show that the Shabbos is really dear to you. Like you don't wait until the last second, but you light as early as you can. Like, I mean, 10 minutes, but actually our sages, I think, I learned from Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, that's all, who said like minimum. They asked him what is the minimum, that he said 2 minutes. Okay, so at least 2 minutes. Okay. Continue. Although the poskim are taken by position, although the position taken by the Kitzur here was followed by many communities in his time, other communities follow the opposing view that maintains that Bein HaShem Ashos, and when Melacha may no longer be performed, begins immediately after sunset on Friday. And one who performs Melacha after this time violates the source of the biblical, this severe biblical prohibition desecrating Shabbos. So before we continue, let's understand a little history lesson. So when people started coming to America from Europe, I mean, after the war, right? After the war, so and they started behaving like some Hasidim as they behave in the old country, and they would continue driving like after the sunset and almost when it's very late, right? And some people who got used to this second opinion, when we accept Shabbos like before the sunset, right? Light the candles before the sunset and accept Shabbos approximately maybe after sunset, but for sure after of course you can go to shul, but all of the activities must be before the sunset. So meaning if you want to drive to shul, there is no problem, right? So in a few shuls that I know, they have a parking lot, so you go there. Like you park, right? So everybody comes before Shabbos. They lock the gate, and you leave your keys like in the drawer somewhere, or you give to Rabbi, whatever you do, right? And then after Shabbos, you can leave. So meaning all of the driving, all of the things must be done before the sunset, right? But this Hasidim, so they go by the minhag of the old country, and they will continue driving when it's dark outside, and it's a problem. It's a sign like for people who got used to the different approach. So for sure they saw that, they said, oh, this is Chassid, so he's Michal Shabbos. That was a big issue. So Rabbi Moshe Feinstein worked with their leaders, with their rabbis, and they stopped this thing. You understand? So whatever there was in old country was in old country. You understand? So because they put a stumbling block in front of the blind. So this, I don't know, I'm not sure if Modern Orthodox existed back then. So they say, you see, this supposed to be Haredi, like you and I, you see, we already accepted Shabbos, but they still driving, they still do something. But according to that approach, it was possible. And in the past, when I was working in an office, so sometimes I have to go to the minyan, to join the minyan, the latest. Where do you go? You go to Hasidish place. And so basically you check your calendar, you see what is in nightfall. What is in nightfall? Even I think even 72 minutes. I did like Rabbeinu Tam, like very dark. Is it dark? Very, very dark. I think if I remember correctly. So they would still like before that time, they would pray mincha. Is it according to all of the opinions? Absolutely not. But a few times I prayed the last minyan possible. No, one before last. So meaning we came to pray mincha, and then people start coming. So it's a minyan factory, like 1 minyan after another. So the guy asked me, is it going to be mincha or marif? It's very interesting. So because one last mincha is going to be that downstairs, they have several halls, and here upstairs, like a main hall, they're going to have marif, because they can pray marif. Very interesting, right? So meaning there is different minchagim, but majority of the people going by the second one, not what Kitzur said. Right, especially as we said, it's probably biblical prohibition. We have to take a stringent side. Since this issue remained unresolved, both Mishnah Brura 261:23 and Biur Halacha 261:2, right, and Igras Moshe Orach Chaim volume 4, chapter 62, assert that in order to avoid the possibility of desecration Shabbos, one is to refrain from all melacha from sunset on Friday. Right? So it's okay. That's very, very critical, right? We go according to this halacha. That minyan that I said that I joined, it was on a regular weekday. Meaning, of course, I don't go by that opinion. So, but technically, if there is such a Jewish opinion and other holy people following, there is no problem. Like a one-time exception, you can do not every time, but it's one-time exception. Okay, this is especially necessary in our times, right? That's it in our times, when many different communities who follows varying rulings in Europe have now been established in a large city in the United States. Here we go. And it is of utmost importance that there be no inconsistency or deviation when the sanctity of the Shabbos is at stake. See Igras Moshe there. So yes, I mean it's in parentheses. So it right, meaning it was big issue. Right, when new people say, well, what do you mean? Like, right, it's our minchag. So the Shabbos starts at that time. He said, no, the Shabbos candlelight starts at this time. So it was big mess. Right. So continue. Thus, no melacha, even melacha that there is a mitzvah, such a lighting Shabbos candles may be performed after sunset on Friday. Even if this will result the Shabbos candles not being lit, and even if one will need to sit in the dark for Shabbos and not to be able to eat on Shabbos meal. See Mishnah Berurah 261:6. Right. This prohibition applies even if one is unsure whether the sun has set. Mishnah Berurah 261:1. So let's do this small paragraph, because it's all of these are very important ideas. I mean, today people just look at the calendars. Oh, what time is candlelight? 5:18. So I'm going to do 5:18. But I mean, just because we have convenience with these calendars, it does not mean that it's like it always was like that. You understand? Okay. So again. After the sunset, we cannot do any melachas. So there are some exceptions, and as we learned in that class, Orah of Shabbos, I think, right? I think the Black Book, where we said some things is allowed to ask a non-Jew to perform for us, if it's for a mitzvah, and there is this condition, that condition. So it was like very strict, but because there is still this opinion, the first opinion that Kitzur follows, that there was some leniency, but only like through a non-Jew. Okay. So let's do it again, and we're going to explain. Das no melacha, even melacha there is a mitzvah, such a lighting of the Shabbos candles. So a woman she's very upset. How can I not to light Shabbos candles? So it's always proper. For example, if she wants to take care of the kids, she wants to take showers, she's this and that. So we say, okay, there is no problem. Go light candles as early as needed, right? And go take a shower, go change, do whatever you need to do, which is not. Try to finish as early as possible, right? So you're not going to miss the light of the candles, but when you light the candles, make a stipulation that I'm not accepting Shabbos upon myself. So usually women automatically accept Shabbos with lighting of the candles, unless she said explicitly that I don't. Men do not usually accept Shabbos with the lighting of the candles. Men usually accept, as the Kitzur says when we said this, when we started reading this Mizmar Liyom HaShabbos. Okay. Right. So again, continue with this commentary. So we cannot perform any melacha after sunset on Friday. Right, and he said even if this result the Shabbos candles not be lit. So people sometimes they a little delusional because they never learn. So yeah, it's how important to light the Shabbos candles. Very important to light the Shabbos candles, but not desecrate the Shabbos, even bigger mitzvah, right? Because a person who intentionally desecrates Shabbos get death penalty. Supposed to get a death penalty, get chorus at least, right? So which is not good. Okay. Right, so meaning it's so strict that we say to them not to light after the sunset, and after the sunset, especially in the summer, it's still very light, right, outside. So even if you're going to see, even if it means that you're going to sit in the dark. So nowadays, if a person has a light in the living room, there is no problem whatsoever. But in olden days, it was critical. So if she does not light the Shabbos candles, they would be sitting in the dark. They say, yeah, it's better for you, for the whole family to sit in the dark, right, than to desecrate Shabbos, which is obvious. But many times people go with emotions. Right? We had this question about emotional people who are emotional and people who are logical, right? So it's not so simple. Okay. Right. So and the last sentence we said, right? Right. So okay. So do not light even. You will need to sit in the dark and do not see how would not able to eat the Shabbos meal. Okay, so don't eat the Shabbos meal. So Shabbos meal is it is very important on one hand. On another hand, if a person is Michal Shabbos, they get a punishment of chorus. So what is this Shabbos meal is not going to help them very much. Okay, so continue. Halachic authorities advise that one abstain from melacha several minutes before the sunset due to the possibility of inadvertently continue past the sunset, right? As well as the need to take into consideration possible variation with regard to the calculation of sunset and inaccuracies of one's timepiece. We need to explain this. Okay, so our sages, right, our halakhic authorities said that don't do, even though you have to light the candles before the sunset, do several minutes. In today, as we said, we do 18 minutes before. In Yerushalayim, they do 40 minutes. Right, in other places, 18 minutes. Maybe there is an exception we're going to see. Right. So meaning why is several minutes before the sunset? So people maybe we miscalculate, especially in olden days. We said that there are no timepieces, no watches, no clocks. So, and plus even today, like in my shul, there's so somebody donated atomic clocks, like, and it's supposed to be like accurate. And guess what? They are not accurate. So there's a guy, poor guy, has to like reset this atomic clock manually. I mean, the few people try like to understand what's going on. Right? It's very interesting. So like if we have atomic clock, right, we're supposed to like reset daily to twice daily, like, and they're so sometimes a little off. So needless to say, like in olden days. Okay, so that's why we have to do in advance. Continue. Ideally, one should light the Shabbos candles and refrain from all milacha from the half an hour or at least 20 minutes before the sunset, thus avoiding any chance of Shabbos desecration, and also fulfill the mitzvah of Tefesach Shabbos, right? The extension of Shabbos. So, and just so we know, since we're on this extension of Shabbos, it's proper to extend Shabbos on both ways. When you accept Shabbos, like in inception, and when the Shabbos ends. Don't end. So some people like check their watch. The one like already people, especially who smoke, they cannot wait until the Shabbos is over. They can start smoking. I mean, I feel so bad for these people, but other people who do not smoke, so like it's not proper. Like the guy like counting seconds because he wants to check his cell phone to see the messages, what's happening in the world. Trump won, Trump lost, all of these things, right? So meaning it's proper to add. How much to add? Right, the more you add, I think the better. I mean, not the more. Like there are limits. Like I don't think you can add more than longer than after the midnight. I don't think so. Okay, but we add like 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever you add. Even 2 minutes, they're still adding. Okay, see Shulchan Aruch 261.2 with Mishnah Berurah in Igros Moshe there. See also Igros Moshe, Orach Chaim, Volume 1, Chapter 96, Volume 2, Chapter 6. Okay. The common custom of many communities in the diaspora is to set the time for candle lighting 18 minutes before the sunset. Right. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein fixed the time at 20 minutes before the sunset. Okay. See the response of Macharit Sharif, chapter 1, Igros Moshe, Orach Chaim. In Yerushalayim, many have a custom to light the candles 40 minutes before the sunset. And if you've been in like for Shabbos in Yerushalayim, you see that like it is bright, the sun is bright, but you know there is a candle lighting time like in I don't know like very soon, and then it goes like down like so fast, it's unbelievable. So where we live, for example, in the summer, it takes 1 hour, an hour and a half, like very, very slowly. The sunset is very, very long. But in Yerushalayim, even in summer, it's very fast, right? So that's why the sages say 40 minutes, right? So meaning the person would not desecrate Shabbos. And here in the diaspora, so right, accepted custom is 18 minutes, but Moshe Feinstein said 20 minutes. So if we add like a few extra minutes to the candle lighting, and that's why that's actually why some calendars are a little off. I actually just thinking that maybe not. I mean, it depends where you are. Even for example, I live where I live, and my Chavrusa lives where he lives. And we have a 3 minutes difference. It's he lives on the north from me. How far to his house? Maybe 2 hours. Right? I don't know. Maybe 2.5 hours plus minus. I don't know how long, but something like that. So we have several minutes difference. So we right. It's very interesting. So, I mean, when they make a calendar, so to today, when we have this application, it's very precise, very, very precise. So you put your address actually, in that application, your zip code, whatever you put there, and they give you exactly times, right? Okay, so continue. So number 3. So meaning that if there's only one calendar in a country, for example, if not too many communities or in a state, so you have to be very careful. Just because you got a calendar from somebody from in a mid state and you're down south or up north, there is a problem. So you have to you cannot rely 100% on that calendar, right? So sometimes you get a calendar and they have many like on the bottom many like Jewish locations, like not many, like 5, 6, 7, that's it, 7 maybe tops of Jewish location with different timing. So we have to be careful. Like what we use for the calendar, it's generic for my town, so which is very simple. Not town, the city, the whole city. Continue. Okay, so continue. If congregation in the synagogue has recited Mizmar Shil Yom HaShabbos, so this is the psalm after Lechadodi. So we say Lechadodi, and then we say this psalm. Okay, it's 92. So that's Asher and Shabbos. So now with that even there is that then even if there are up to 2 hours remaining until nightfall, nevertheless the laws of Shabbos take effect even on minority of the people in the city have not ushered the Shabbos yet. So meaning we're talking about summer, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure why he's saying 2 hours. Oh no, it is possible 2 hours before the Shabbos. So the earliest time that we can accept Shabbos is Plaga Mincha. So Plaga Mincha is it's 1 hour and a quarter before the sunset. 1 hour and a quarter. So it's simply, very simple. Could be like this time is two hours before this. Before the nightfall. Very simple, right? So meaning that this, if there is one place, one shul, so meaning they dictate, they actually consider to be community, and they tell everybody else, right? What time they're going to accept Shabbos. Meaning this, if community decided, for example, in the summer to accept Shabbos. 7 p.m. let's say 7 p.m. even though like the candlelight in is 8:45, let's say. I'm just saying, so 8:45 meaning the Shabbos start 9, so exactly like 2 hours before, right? 2 hours before, so we have to follow, right? So right, because we're supposed to be one community. Okay. And commentaries say an individual or community may, and is in fact a mitzvah, to usher Shabbos to Shabbos before the actual onset. See the previous note. Okay, so meaning we can accept earlier, but now this community, like the synagogue, they can say that we accept even 2 hours earlier. Like example in the summer. From the time that the Shabbos ushered in, all of the halachas of Shabbos applied to that person of a community. So meaning they decide when to usher in Shabbos. Usher in Shabbos, whatever you decide, as we said, even 2 hours before the actual Shabbos starts, there is no problem, right? It is halacha. It's like the Shabbos started for everybody, not because of these religious people who are in the synagogue, but like not so much religious people who are in their house. That's it. So they have to turn off their TV or something. You understand? So it's very, very powerful. So there's the power of community. See Biur Halacha 261.4. Okay. For discussion regarding the extent of this prohibition. As Kitzur points out in CF4, women generally usher Shabbos for themselves with the candle lighting, right? So that's a minchak of the women to accept Shabbos with the candle lighting, unless, as we said, she makes a separate stipulation. The community ushers in Shabbos with recitation of the Psalm Mizmar Shir L'Yom HaShabbos. Okay. Today, the recitation of Regrettably has been widely accepted, and the congregation ushers in the Shabbos with the recitation of. So one second, go a little. The community ushers Shabbos with the recitation of Psalm Mizmar Shir L'Yom HaShabbos. Okay. Today, the recitation of Regrettably has been widely accepted. I mean, for several centuries, right? And the congregation of ushers Shabbos with recitation of the phrase at the conclusion of the liturgy. Boy hello. So meaning boy hello when we bow down, right? When this last the line before last, because we still and on another line. So it's when we turn around, facing the back of the shoe, right? And when we when we say and enter a bride. Right, so we bow to the right, bow to the left, and we accept Shabbos. So basically, the difference is exactly 15 seconds, right? So we finish Regrettably, and then we start this Psalm 92. Okay, doesn't matter by which opinion you go, but it's again. So you in this place and that place, but you accept at almost at the same time, 15 seconds later. The difference, 15-second difference. Okay. Continue. So okay, so everybody must accept even 2 hours 2 hours before Shabbos. Okay, right, and this my minority opinion have to submit. Okay. Right, and now, since the shul, right, the main congregation accept, not the main, the congregation accepted, they're all forbidden to perform all milachas. So now it's not only them; they can do whatever they want. It's a summer. I still I have an hour, right, or an hour and 45 minutes. For example, 8:45 is official candle lighting, and they want to 7. I have so much time. Why should I? Yeah, because we have to follow the community. Right, and commentaries say this applies only if the majority of the congregation in attendance. Okay, so majority of the congregation, meaning the people who usually go to the shul. We not count these people who comes on Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. You understand? So right. So if majority of congregation who are in the city, okay, Melacha, Mishnah Brura 265, 263:51. According to Mishnah Brura 261:25, if one ushers Shabbos even as early as 1¼ hours, right, before the sunset, as we said before, it's a plaga mincha. Right, he is forbidden to perform milachas from that time. So even if individual, let's say there is a person wants to usher Shabbos early, for example, person is sick, right? Person is sick, so he's not going to go to shul, and shul planning to usher Shabbos early, no normal time, and he wants to accept Shabbos early. There's no problem. So as soon as he accepts Shabbos, it's all of the prohibition apply, even if it's very light, even if it's 1½ hours before the regular candle lighting. So it's, you see, our intention is very powerful. Continue. Shulchan Aruch 263:4 writes that one who wishes to light Shabbos candles and usher Shabbos early as a plaga mincha may do so. So, and that's what I mean. For me, people were suffering on during the coronavirus, I was enjoying like this like Asher and Shabbos like so early, like I would pray mincha, right? I would start Kabbalah Shabbos, and meaning that I would do like arrive an hour and a quarter, like around Lechadadi. Like what could be better? I understand what could be better. Okay. Right, is around before the nightfall. Okay, continue. Even for one who has arrived from another city to this city, the laws of Shabbos take effect upon him as soon as the congregation recite Mitzvah Shir Yom HaShabbos. So we have this rule that sometimes when you're going from one city to another, is not resident. If a person is resident, so all of the stringencies and leniencies, if he wants, apply as soon as he moved to the city. Right, so meaning right away. If he bought a house or he signed a contract for a lease contract for a year, right? Let's say so. Meaning he's right away he's a permanent resident. But if somebody is visiting somebody, right, we still like as soon as a person came and according to his place, Hasidic place, the Shabbos is not going to start until 2 hours later, and these people already accepted. That's it. He must accept it. Right. In a city that has two or more synagogues, one is not drawn after the other. There is each one may usher Shabbos at its own time. So we're going to see the commentary. So again, if it's only more than one synagogue, and they are active synagogue, and both of them are Orthodox, of course. Right, so meaning you can go by either one. So let's see, number 5. So that's an advantage, I guess. That's my personal understanding. Advantage living in a place where there are many communities, many synagogues, and some people like to go from one minyan to another. I don't like to do that, and people. Whatever, but it's very interesting. So like to see different communities, and all of them accept Shabbos different times, but some go according to the standard. So especially in the summer. So in the summer, everybody not everybody, but majority where we live, for example, walking distance, majority would accept Shabbos on summer 7. In my shul, 7:30, but there are still several shuls, right? They accept the Shabbos according to the regular schedule, for whatever reason. I don't know the reason, but for whatever reason. So meaning a person who is late, not for whatever reason, he can go to that minyan. There is no problem. Meaning not to accept Shabbos early, but according to the different communities. So that gives you a lot of flexibility, which is good. Okay, so continue. Number 5. This is true. Even the majority of the people in the city attended one synagogue, and so that's the exactly the situation, the example that I gave before, right? So all of these people, all other people, they live close to the synagogue in that town, but other people live further away. And they organize their own minyan, but it's stable minyan. It's stable minyan on Friday night. That's what they do. On Shabbos day, yes, they go to the main synagogue, but on Friday night they want to do it in this guy's basement, which is not a problem. Okay, so it says that this is true even if the majority of the people in the city attended one of the synagogues, right? An ongoing minyan in a private home does not have the status of the synagogue. Okay, and those who attend that minyan must observe Shabbos at the time of the synagogue Asher Shabbos, see Mishnah 263:51. Okay, so let's see. Even though it is not synagogue, but it's a stable minyan Okay, so let's see. So far it says it's a Mishnah Berurah, not as I said. I'm not sure how on what they rely, but it's very interesting to ask them whose opinion they realize that they can do this. Actually, they don't do in different time. No, they do in different time. They do earlier. I get no. Okay, so here we go. Yes. So right. So because I know that these people are kosher people, so I'm thinking how is it possible, right? So right. So there's no contradiction. They would do on Friday night, like they would do early meaning. So early meaning there's no problem. You can accept early. So the problem only when you want to doing melacha after the main minyan accepted Shabbos. So but early minyan there is no problem. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So I got scared a little, like who told them that they allowed. Okay, no problem. They allowed. When the husband ushered the Shabbos early because he's concerned that he may inadvertently desecrate the Shabbos, if he does so later, or so to add time to the sanctity of Shabbos, his wife is bound by this as well. And from that point on, from that point and on, it is prohibited to perform melacha. Okay, so let's read to the end because it's not such a simple thing. Okay, however, a woman whose husband prays in a synagogue and ushers Shabbos early for the sake of the convenience, as common in the summertime, is not bound. Here we go, by the husband's ushering in Shabbos earlier, and many communities perform melacha even beyond that time. However, it is proper for her to refrain from doing any melacha for the benefit of your husband. See Igras Moshe or Chaim. Okay. Let's review this paragraph, and I guess we stop. So again, when husband ushers Shabbos early because he's concerned that he may inadvertently desecrate Shabbos. So I'm not sure what is the situation. If he does it later, okay. So meaning maybe he's in house. I don't know. So meaning that he does not go to shul. Or so to add the time to the sanctity of Shabbos. So meaning if husband, let's say if he's in the house and he's the main right anchor in the house. So if he accepted Shabbos, so technically she also should accept Shabbos with him, right? And from that point on, the prohibition to perform melacha, right? It is prohibited to perform melacha. Again, as if a person said now it's Shabbos and it's legally acceptable time to accept Shabbos, there is no problem. So, and as we said, the earliest time is an hour and quarter before the sunset, Plaga Mincha. But if person wants an hour and 30 minutes before the sunset, so it's nothing. So even though they accepted Shabbos, they have to accept again because it's not. Or even they do not accept again. So when the time comes, it's like automatically, like without asking them. Right. So, but again, if he does it out of convenience, so during the summer we do it out of convenience, right? So she's not obligated. Right. So she's not bound by the husband ushering the Shabbos earlier, and may continue performing melacha even beyond that time. So meaning what? Sometimes you would come home and the wife did not light the candles. Why? Because it's too early before. For example, she was very busy with other things. Let's say so. It's possible. So, but the restriction is it's proper to reframe that she would not do melacha for his sake. So, like candlelighting is for his sake, mostly for her sake, but he's included. There is no problem. So, what would be example for his sake that she's ironing his shirt or something? I don't know, like does specifically for him. If she cooks, she's not cooking specifically for him, or Right, cooking is doing melacha, ironing. What else? I don't know. Like all other things, like like setting the table, it's not melacha, right? So and most likely it's not for him personally, so there is no problem. Again. So on the summer, in the summer, when the husband accept the Shabbos early, wife is not obligated to accept the Shabbos at that time, and she can continue preparation, right? If she need to. If she need to, there is no problem, even until he comes home. Okay. So I think we can stop here.